Hey guys, so welcome back to part two of this series, I guess, I don't know, tips and tricks to finding work in the wonderful world of TEFL, or teaching English as a foreign language. I don't know. So in part one, we talked about your resume, right? Which is the first step and the most important step. Finding a resume, or not finding, but making a good resume and adding, things to the resume that you may have not thought of, basically, anything that has to do with kids, put it in there, any single thing. And certificates, anything that makes you look good, put it in there. So, but in part two, we're gonna talk about applying for work, right? I always get questions as to like what websites to use, or what are, where did I apply and stuff like that. So I'm gonna give you a few websites that I used, and then I'll give you websites that I heard of, that I've looked at, but I haven't used myself, but they're fairly popular. So the first one is ESL Cafe, eslcafe.com, and this was the very first website that I used, and it was the website that I actually found my very first job in. So with ESL Cafe, it's essentially, like a job posting board, and it's primarily geared towards like China and Korea, but they do have an international section. And yeah, I looked on China, and mind you, this was like 6 years ago, so it still looks the same, but times were different back then. So yeah, I applied to a bunch of positions. I think it was about like three or four different positions, and the second or third one, they offered me a contract, and I accepted, signed, sent back, and then like the next day I got a call from another position, calling me from Shanghai or something like that. So, but unfortunately I couldn't accept it. So ESL Cafe, definitely really good. I definitely recommend them. This is not like a paid sponsor or anything like that, even though I wish. It's really good. I've used it, and I found work there a bunch of times when I was in China, so I definitely recommend them. Okay, another one is find work abroad, findworkabroad.com. Now that's one that I used also when I was in China, but that was like when I was already inside of China. I think they're based out of like Guangzhou or something. I can't remember off the top of my head. And I used them to find my job when I was down south in Foshan. So they're pretty good as well. They actually, I believe they're an agency, if I remember correctly. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I believe that they're an agency, and they you can actually like communicate with like a representative and stuff like that. So, and it's pretty cool, like I've always said before, if you've never gotten into this field before, if you've never done teaching English abroad or anything like that, and you're not comfortable with like doing it on your own, so to speak, like getting on a plane, going over there, finding an apartment and finding a job, then I would really recommend going through an agency. Try and find a good agency, but after you get your feet wet, so to speak, like after your first year or after your second year, then maybe, and by year I mean contract, like after your first contract or your second contract, then you can probably manage on your own, because certain agencies, I don't want to say all, because I haven't experienced an agency that hasn't done this yet, but most agencies, they take a cut off the top. Right? So like when I first started working, right, I was completely ignorant, and I got hired through an agency, and I was getting paid, I think like 4,500 or something, ridiculously low. Even for somebody who doesn't have a bachelor's degree, it was still really low. Granted, I didn't realize this because I was getting the apartment paid for, so I just was like, oh, this is awesome, So, but you find out that they're taking off the top. So which it makes sense. It makes perfect sense, because they're you're working for their agency. Jesus, you're working for their agency, and they're finding the jobs for you. And they help. A good agency should take care of your visas and help you with all that stuff. And then not only that, but if they don't like you, like the school doesn't like you, or if for some reason you get fired from the school because of whatever reason, then the agency can help you find another job. They'll place you somewhere else. So job security is okay, I guess. And again, this is assuming you have a good agency. Okay, I was very lucky that I've gotten I've worked with 2 agencies, and they were both okay. The first one was pretty good, and the second one was okay until they paid me late, but that's a conversation for another time. So yeah, find work abroad. That one's pretty good. I definitely recommend it. They're great, and I think they like really updated the website, so like you can see like if this certain jobs offer you the visa, or salary, or if the room is included, or stuff like that. So it's really good. It's like a lot more graphical than ESL Cafe. So, but those 2 are the only 2 that I've used, and I've actually found work. And so yeah, those are the 2 that I can honestly speak for and say that yes, these are 2 places that I personally have found work using their websites. So other ones, I have 3 other ones here that I've discovered. There's one that's called AsiaTeachingJobs.com, and I'll put a list of the ones of all the websites here in the description down below. AsiaTeachingJobs.com, and there's one, and this one is if you're in Cambodia, it's everjobs.com.kh. I believe I used them. I can't remember off the top of my head. There was one, I can't remember off the top of my head. I can't find it. Where I actually found this position where I'm at right now. I found it on one of those job boards in Cambodia. That's like exclusive to Cambodia. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry, guys, but and the other one here is jobs.goabroad.com. So those are different places that you can like apply to, look for different positions and stuff like that. So yeah, but the 2 that I really recommend trying first, especially if you want to go to China or Korea, or they have international postings, but I've never used them for international stuff. ESLcafe.com, and then I believe for Find Work Abroad, they do have other positions, but I've used them for China exclusively before. So there's that. For Cambodia, everjobs.com.kh. everjobs.com.kh. So those are the resources that you can use. One thing that I really recommend though when you're applying, okay, is apply to multiple positions. And when I say apply to multiple positions, apply and shoot out your resume and send it out, and just keep doing it until you get hit. And even if you do get hit, keep applying until you find a position that you like. If you get called for an interview, don't take that as the be all end all. Okay, yes, I found a job, I got an interview. No. Once you sign the contract and they say, okay, we're gonna fly you out, or yes, okay, you can start on Monday type stuff, keep applying. Because you never know. Maybe they say yes, and then something, for whatever reason, the guy doesn't like you, or let's say they give the resume to the guy above him and he doesn't like it for whatever reason. You never know. So keep applying until you are told to come in on Monday, or until they say, okay, we need you to come fly in whenever. So definitely keep applying. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Just a quick little thing in regards to like resources that I've used when it comes to applying, and just some advice. I think it's definitely something that you should do. The best advice that I can give is apply. Just keep applying. Don't stop applying. Don't get easily discouraged, you know what I mean? Just because you don't get a email back within the first few days, you know what I mean? You never know. Keep applying, and definitely check out those websites down below if you're looking for positions. And so yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Remember to LSS, like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.